On this week's episode, we are talking about our weekly wins, giving you all the updates on our weekly sex positions, and how helping a stranger can have very unpredictable consequences. So sit back, relax, pour a drink, girl, because you are in for a story time.
Girl, stop talking. All the shit that people are thinking but not saying. I'm not even drunk. I've just been drinking. Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking.
Happy fucking Monday, bitches. Okay, listen. We're gonna jump straight in. I know last week was lame. I know it was. I was pulling at strings. I was gripping at teeth. I've really just been winging it. Okay, we're winging it. But do I have a story for you today? Before we do that, we have to do our housekeeping. Okay, first of all, let's set up our prop microphone. We got to go over our wins. We got to go over our weekly wins. I still have yet to see any of your guys' weekly wins in the comments. I would love nothing more than to hear all the good, joyous, positive things that you've contributed to and done and goals that you have reached over the last 3 weeks. So please feel free to drop a comment. I respond to all of them, even the negative ones. If you know, you know. So my 3 wins over this last week is I officially got paid for my first UGC video. I'm so proud of myself. Let's give a little round of applause. I got that done. My second win is that I was able to follow up with that brand and get 2 more paid videos through the same brand. So I am slowly building momentum with making more money online and working with brands, and I am just so proud of myself. So win 3, let's see, it's my first week back from being sick, and I just jumped right back into it. I'm doing content every day. I'm having fun doing content every day. And you know what I was actually thinking about? I struggled for so long feeling burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed when it came to creating content. And I have recently been having so much fun doing it. And I don't know if that's because I made this investment in this course and I'm learning how to edit, and I'm actually enjoying the editing process. Even with this show, you guys, for the longest time, I have not watched back the show. I don't do any edits. I have structured my show in a way that if I fuck up, I pause and then we just revamp. So when it comes to edits, I know if there's a mess up because it's the end of the clip. And then I just start forward. That is not happening anymore with these 2 camera angles. Your girl is editing. I am rewatching. And one thing about me is I truly just think I am so funny. Which, are you really even living if you don't think you're funny? That's what, you know what I mean? Anyways, back to the point. I have been thinking about how I've been creating so much content and really staying up on it. And I haven't hit that exhaustion or that overwhelm or the burnout. And I truly think this actually just hit me. This reflection just hit me right before I started recording. I think that I did not hit the burnout is the reason why is because I'm actually doing it. Beforehand, I would always say oh, I have to make content. I want to make content. But then there was this point of procrastination, and the procrastination turned to burnout where I was oh, I'm just creating content all the time. It's just exhausting. I'm reaching. I feel I don't feel inspired, this, that, and the other. And the only difference that has changed for me is that I am just doing it. I say anything is content, be seen. In the great words of Jen Gottlieb, be seen. She has a whole fucking book about it, which I actually need to read because I did buy it and I want to be a reader. And maybe, and I'm going to start when I start my 75 hard challenge, because we talked about that briefly last week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start, I think, Monday, which is kind of crazy. So I think that's going to be the first book that I read. Mark my words, call me out, please, because a coach needs it too. A girly needs to be called out. I can't just be calling everybody out. I need the pushback a little bit. So I think I struggled so much like in my head when it came to content creation and like putting content out, because you kind of go through these like, well, what if it's not good enough? Or what if nobody cares? Or like, who cares what you have to say? And then I truly just have been embodying this whole concept of like, everything is content. Like if I like talk so easily on my stories every day, but a lot of my stories should just be reels, because the reels are what gets pushed out to people. That's how people find you. And I can't tell you how many times like the shit that you see online, you see everything and people are watching it. Like if you have an opinion, a thought, something controversial, something funny, it literally doesn't matter, because your people will find you. Have my people found me? The ones that are watching the show have. But currently where we stand on my Instagram, it's like 86% men over there. I hate that. Unless you're gays or theys. Love you, sisters. But like the straight men, I'm like, can we not? Like, I'm so ready to find my niche girl gang that are like funny bitches, that are supportive, that continue to like engage and talk and like, and follow up and listen. And just like all of you guys that are here listening to this, like you're like my ride or dies. Okay. Like if you are not like DMing me and talking to me on Instagram, or you've been shy or something, please do. Like I respond to pretty much every single girl that DMs me. Like I am here for you. I'm here for the girls. Okay. I love you guys. I totally just went off on a tangent. Don't we all? You know what I mean? Like, I will have to say, I am drinking. Isn't that crazy? I'm so excited. I have some updates. So I guess I'll just update you a little bit of what's going on in life. First week back, feeling fucking great. Like, I'm at this point in my fitness journey where something just changed. Like, a switch just flipped. I have a better understanding of like my relationship with alcohol, and I don't feel constrained by it anymore. I don't prioritize it anymore. And like, I truly am just like living high on life. And don't get me wrong, a bitch still gets sad. I get stressy and depressy as soon as that PMS session hits me. Have an event tonight. I have a fun weekend this weekend. I'm going to see Nelly, Ja Rule, and Luda at the Bird's Nest, which was a very, very last minute hookup from a friend. And I am so excited. At the last time I saw Nelly, I saw him one time in person when we were in Vegas to go to EDC. I think this was like 2021, 2022. We were walking through one of the casinos, me and my girlfriends and my man were walking through the casino, and then there's this like group of men like mobbing through the casino. They're like walking so fast, like it looked like they just shot up the damn club. Like something happened and they were dipping. And so like it caught your eye, because it's like, you know, there's a lot going on in Vegas casinos, but like when you see a group of like 8 to 10 people like mobbing through the casino, you're kind of like, what is going on? I look over, and I kid you not, I make eye contact with Nelly. We're like an arm's length away, like close. They're like literally walking past us. And I go, oh my God, that's fucking Nelly. He made eye contact with me. I made eye contact with him. My jaw's like, and then I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my God, that was so lame. That's what you said. Oh my God, that's fucking Nelly. And then they just kept fucking walking. Like, listen, if I could have asked for a picture, your girl would have. You know, I am a Nelly lover. I've seen him in concert once back in 2018. I was at, where was I? Maya pool party. I think it was like Labor Day weekend or something. It was back when I was blonde. Girl, this was a long time ago. Life was crazy back then. And I was, again, an arm's length away from him, screaming, crying, throwing up, singing all the songs. Maybe if I find a video, I'll plug it into this part so you can see just how different your girl looked and how I think I was so drunk that like I wasn't even singing the lyrics to the song correctly. Anyways, I'm so excited. So I told myself, I'm like, you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to, do what you need to do for the health and the wealth and the fitness. And then you're just going to have fun. So I'm so pumped. I have not been to a concert and like outside of like raves and festivals, I have no idea the last concert I went to. I'm not even going to try to think because it's irrelevant. But I think it was actually Lovers and Friends. I saw him at the Lovers and Friends, which was that same year that I was just talking about when I saw him in the casino. I also saw Ja Rule. And let me tell you, I hope Ja Rule takes his shirt off. Because that man's body is insane. He is like a beefcake. Like literally, I remember being like, Daddy Ja Rule, okay. Anyways, and then I saw Ashanti sing back at that concert, and that was, can you imagine, special guest Ashanti? Because like they're like together. Oh, what a love story. I can't even. That's enough about that. I have some fun things happening this weekend, so I will definitely follow up with you guys on the fun things. But now that we've done our little catch up, again, tell a friend to tell a friend you should be listening, watching, subscribe to the show, okay? Because like, why the hell not? If you like listening to this show, your best friend will probably like listening to this show. Send her your favorite episode and hook a sister up, girl. We're almost at 300 subscribers on the YouTube. I think I have like, on the last 3 videos I've done, I think I have like a total of 7 views on each the last 3 videos. And I'm like, how is my subscriber count going up? But like the video views are severely going down. But you know what? I look back and I look at the quality now and the setup and I'm just like, oh, girl, we have come a way. We have come a long fucking way. I am on one. I am like lit. I'm not like actually lit, but I'm enjoying myself. I am. So let's get into this episode for real. Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, we're far enough into the episode that the people who didn't come here for the right reasons are probably no longer listening. Now we're going to get into our sex position of the week. This is so much fun. Honestly, my man still has no idea, and we're only on week 2, right? But if you're new here, if you didn't watch last week's episode, honestly, don't. It sucked. It really was not great. It was not one of my favorites. My number 1 supporter, Shannon, would say otherwise. Girl, I love you so much. Thank you for always validating me. I love hearing your feedback. We literally talk online after each episode, and she always has great feedback. She's so kind. She honestly, too kind. It was not a great episode. I say this to say, last week, I started sex position of the week. Every single week, I'm going to tell you a new sex position. I'm going to go do it with my man. And he has no idea that this is a part of the podcast. Keeping the secret is like, it's so hard because I literally tell him everything. But I do think once I officially tell him or he starts to question, like, where are these new moves coming from? I do think that's going to be a great story as well. So we're doing it for the pod. I'm here for you, really. But the whole reason behind this is to encourage you guys to spice up your routine, learn something new, take this information for what you will, whether it's a funny story, a laugh, or take it and apply it to your relationship. Maybe you've done these positions in the past. Maybe you've had different experiences. Maybe there's little tweaks or things that we can add to just kind of make it more fun, spice it up so that we don't stay like in that routine of, oh, we're just having sex again. Or like, do we have to have sex? Because oh, I hate that. Like, we need to be excited about being with our partners. And if you're in a long relationship, sometimes that spark fades and the excitement goes away, but this is how we reignite it, okay? Damn, am I talking at like 2x speed? I am just on one. So sex position of the week. Last week was X marks the spot. If you want to go listen to it, you can honestly go to my Instagram and I have a clip explaining the position. You can go to Girl Stop Talking Pod or you can go to Tatum Zoe and you can watch the clip rather than listening to the whole shitty episode. Okay. Okay. we have to debrief. Before we go into week 2 sex position, we got to debrief X marks the spot. This is basically where the receiver is laying on her back, the giver, or on their back. The giver is standing up. You're at the side of the bed. So the giver's here. The receiver's legs are up and your legs are crossed. He can kind of hold them, move them out of the way, whatever. This is one of my favorite positions. When I tell you that it just hits the G-spot every fucking time, we could quite literally have to put our, what's it called? Our weird blanket down. I don't know if I mentioned that before. We have like a waterproof blanket that we put down, and just because otherwise we'd be doing a lot of laundry, you know what I mean? And it's also great for like if it's that time of the month or whatever, you just don't have to worry. You put the blanket down. We call it our weird blanket. It's kind of like code word, and it actually came from a story because like my son saw it on the bed, or I was like folding it or something. Like it was clean. Okay, relax. And I was like folding it and he like felt it, and it kind of has like, not like it's like a plasticky feeling, but he's like, that's a weird blanket. And so the name just kind of stuck, you know, but it's like code word. We love that. You love inside jokes with your partner. So we put the weird blanket down. And this just, if you're looking for something to really hit the G-spot, if your man is on the smaller side, if you are two women and you're using a toy or a strap or something, like this is a great one to play around with, and one of my all-time faves. Every single time hits where it needs to hit, girl. I'm going to be so for real. I don't actually have an exact story for you. But I can recall a lot of times my man and I have not seen each other. But it's date night. So maybe I could do both and come back next week and debrief both of them even more and give you deets, like the dirty deets. If you want them, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want the dirty deets. Just comment, we want the deets. We want the dirty deets. That's what I want to hear. I'm naming this one myself. I've done a little research. I obviously had to get a list of positions and kind of like see, do they have actual names? Are we making it up? Are we making up our own names? And we're kind of going to go through and just see. We're going to take it week by week, basically. So this next one, and I want to start off kind of chill, right? So like I'm doing things that are like, don't seem wild or like insane, or I want to use the word threatening, but that seems like crazy town. Maybe like things that seem like attainable, like you feel like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could implement this, and we're not just going to go from 0 to anal. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to lube you up. Okay. I'm going to warm you guys up with this, and then we're going to have some fun. Okay. Each week is just going to continue to get better and better. And this week I have titled it my own name, and it's Sit on That Dick, Girl. And whatever that dick may be. Maybe that dick is a toy. Maybe that's, like I said, a strap on, whatever that is. You can call it sitting on top or sitting on that dick. Okay. So this is how it's going to go. This is like another version of the receiver being on top. I'm going to speak as man and woman just because that's from my perspective, but I want to give options for everyone. So you're going to have your man sit on the bed up against the headboard. He's going to be kind of sitting up, like leaning back a little bit is fine, but you want the angle of like both of your bodies to mainly be sitting up. You're going to be sitting on top of him, straddling him. And he's going to have his knees up, kind of like this, like kind of like holding you up while you're sitting on him, okay? This allows for deeper penetration, G-spot penetration, and it's really going to hit it hard. Are you seeing a theme here? The G-spot theme. I'm trying to get all of you baddies squirting all over the place. I want the bed to be wet, okay? I want to be slipping and sliding and hear crazy stories. That is my goal. Now, if you're two women, again, you can use a toy. You can use a strap. You can implement different toys in this position as well. If you are on top of him, you can use your own toy for clitoral stimulation. You could use a oh my God, what are they called? A cock ring for him to make it harder, apply pressure. But essentially, this is what it's going to look like. Hold on. I have a prop. I have another prop. This is your guy. Okay? You're going to be here. He's sitting up. You're sitting up. His legs are here. And you're thrusting. Honestly, 10 out of 10, my guy. I'm dying at myself. I'm having so much fun this week. You guys, you have no idea. Well, you do, because you're watching this. So, hopefully you made it this far, because this episode's a banger already. I feel so great about it. Okay, so we're calling that sit on his dick, girl. Sit on that dick, girl. Get on top. Get on top. Add that little variation. Tell me how it goes. I'll debrief you on my side next week. And we're going to keep this going. But your girl needs a little break, because between laughing and being physical, I need to take a breather. Okay, and for our last segment of the day, I am coming to you with a story time. I want to preface this story by saying it has given me crippling anxiety for the last 48 hours. I have been low-key spiraling in my head. I have been thinking to myself, like, are you an idiot? All of the things that you are literally going to be like, are you fucking kidding? I have already thought for myself. I just want to start with that, okay? And we're gonna get into it. Okay. I was leaving the gym the other morning, and it was like 7:30 in the morning, normal gym day, right? Well, I was there a little later, but that's beside the point. Walk out to my car. I normally park in the back of the parking lot. I only do this just because I'm trying to get more steps in. So annoying, I know. I go to the back of the parking lot, get in my car, shut the door, and I lock the door because that's just normally what a girl does. At this point, it's like 7:15 in the morning. The sun is up, like it's getting lighter out nowadays. So we're in broad daylight, we're in a public space, and I'm sitting in the car and I see 3 women walking across the parking lot. And I look over and I'm like, my first thought is like, whoa, like, they look a little rough. Like, but whatever. Like, it just, how your thoughts go. You're like, they look a little rough. Like, I wonder what's going on. Like, are they okay? That was kind of my first thought. And as they continued to approach my car, it was what looked to be like a mom and 2 daughters. And the daughters looked a little older, like maybe like high school age, around that age. And my first thought is like, okay, they're kind of like beelining it to my car. They're going to come up, probably ask me for money, like panhandling. And I noticed that like the 2 girls had like camping chairs in their hand. One, they just looked a little disheveled, okay? But not in the way of like drug addicts or, mentally unstable or anything like that. It almost just looked like, did you just sleep outside? Like, that's kind of what it was giving. And then they just keep walking past the car. And so I'm like, whew, okay, I don't have to deal with that. Thank God, whatever. And I'm sitting there for a second, putting my phone, getting my music plugged in, whatever, about to leave. And then I notice out of the corner of my eye, I see the woman coming back, and I'm like, okay. And she comes up to the window and like goes to, knock on it. And I like roll it down just a little bit, and she was on the passenger side. And she's like, hi, I know this is like so uncomfortable, and I wasn't going to ask, but I just like have to ask. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's going to ask me for money. She goes, me and my girls have been living in my car for the last couple of nights, and I just got repoed last night, and we've basically been in the parking lot since last night, and we just need a ride to the park around the corner. Is there any way you can give us a ride? And I'm sitting here like, okay, I almost just wish you would have asked me for money. I'm like, I'm a girl, I'm alone. Obviously, like, the conspiracy girlies are probably sitting here like, absolutely not. This is a tactic. Don't fall for it. Yada, 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 right? Like, I get that. That did not cross my mind for some reason. Now, there was like a red flag in my head, like danger, like stranger danger. Like, this seems weird, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is a mother and her 2 daughters. Like, I'm kind of like, this is crazy. And she proceeds to say, like, I was in an abusive relationship. We've been living out of our car. I left and we just need a ride to the park. She's like, I know we could walk. I know it's not that far. We could probably walk, but like, we're cold. We've been out here all night. And if you could give us a ride, that would be so awesome. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, let me think for a second. And in this moment, I'm thinking to myself, like, what is the worst thing that could happen? You know what I mean? And in my mind went to, I could get robbed or they really just need a ride. Okay. The sex trafficking part didn't really enter my mind until later, but we're going to get there. Because I know you guys are all thinking of it. You're like, this is what they do. They like pull on the heartstrings. They use women and children and all of these things, right? That did not cross my mind at this point. It was mainly like, what's the worst that could happen? They pull out a gun, they pull out a knife. That would really suck. But I don't even have my wallet on me. Like, which, maybe shouldn't be saying, like, I normally do keep my wallet on me. Like, I know ID, whatever. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm like, I don't even have my wallet on me. Like, I have this quarter right here. Like, they could take the quarter, they could steal the car, but that's fine. I could just walk home. Like, I could use the steps. I already parked in the back of the parking lot for a reason. I could use the steps. If they rob me, I'll just, whatever. Take my keys. Good luck to ya. Take my phone, whatever. I'll call the police when I get home. Not a big deal. Anyways, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, to the park? Okay. And hindsight, I wish I would have asked more questions. Hindsight's always 2020. I'm sure most of you are like, I would never let a stranger in my car. And normally I wouldn't either, okay? But the children, like, really, if this is what sex traffickers do, like, I would die. I would be dead. I would be trafficked, okay? I know it's not funny to laugh about, but I'm like, I have to laugh because otherwise it's scary. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, I could probably do that. I unlocked the door and I let him in the car. I know, I don't even like to say it out loud. Why? Girl, I don't fucking know. Again, hindsight's 2020. I'm just sitting here thinking in my head, I'm like, if this story is truly true, could you imagine as a mom with daughters to be in a position like that where you finally have the power to flee or the courage and you just continue to get hit left and right and left and right with obstacles and nothing and no one, and like, this does really happen. So I'm like, okay, it's around the corner. We're in the car. And I'm driving them, through the parking lot, and I like asked them what their names were and introduced myself to the girls. And, the mom goes on to tell me that, she left her man. I don't know if she said husband or man, whatever. It was an abusive relationship and that they were living in their car, but he didn't pay the car. And then he called the repo company and told the repo company where they were staying, and the car got repoed. On the drive, literally this drive is like, not even 5 minutes. Well, it's probably, it's probably like a 10-minute drive. So definitely probably would have been like a, 30, 40-minute walk. Again, like, if you would have walked and really got to step in, it would have increased your blood pressure, like, or your heart rate, and like, you would have felt warmer. Like, I understand, like, I know that, and it did not cross my mind. And I know how this sounds. It sounds I sound like an idiot. I get it, okay? Don't judge me. I'm already judging myself. So, driving down the street, going to the park, it's across the freeway, whatever. I'm going to the park. Also, the park is another public place. It is daytime. It is like people are out, people are walking around, like real life people. This is not a staged movie. Like, so I'm just like, okay. And I'm like, there's got to be like something you could do. Like there's got to be something I could do other than just like give you a ride, you know? Like there's got to be resources out here. Like have you looked into any like homes or anything like that? And she said no. And I asked her, I was like, do you have a phone? And at first she like didn't answer, and then I like asked again, and I was like, do you have a phone? Like do you need me to go pick up a charger? Like, and she's like, yeah, I have my phone. She had her purse with her. They literally just had what was on their back. Like she had a purse. She had like a blanket covering her with a tank top on. One of the daughters didn't even have sweatpants. She had shorts and like a big t-shirt. The other daughter had like a hoodie and sweatpants. And they were carrying camping chairs. And literally like it was 40 degrees that night. You know what I mean? And I'm like about to cry. I'm like literally teary-eyed, and I'm like, I just feel like there's something more that I could do for you. And like, I'm like, give me your number. We parked. One of her daughters got out of the car. The other was like sitting there, and I was telling her, I was like, give me your number, and I'm gonna look up some things and see if there's like any other way I'm able to help. She's like, you don't have to do that. I don't need you to feel bad. And I'm like, of course I feel bad. Like I'm like, how am I gonna leave a mother and her children stranded just at a park? And I also asked her, I was like, what's the plan here? That's the part that I forgot to say. I'm like, what's your plan? Like, is someone meeting you at the park, or like, what is the reason for going to the park? She's like, just to be in like a public space. We can't just hang out in the parking lot. And I'm like, well, is there somewhere you can go? And she's like, we have no one. Like, no, we have nothing. And I'm like, there has to be some resources for you. And in my mind, this park is right next to the Mormon temple. And I'm like, the Mormons, what are they called? The saviors of the Latter-day Saints, whatever it is, they are in service to people. That is quite literally like what they preach, what they teach, to be in service to others, to help, lend a helping hand. And so I'm like, girl, maybe you should go walk over to the Mormon church. Like, this is what they do. Like, they might be able to have some resources for you, like let you use a phone, or like maybe even coordinate a ride to like get you somewhere, whatever. But basically, I made her give me her number. She told me her name, and then they got out of the car. And I'm like, I just feel like there has to be something more I could do for you. So I was like, I'm going to text you. I'm going to like go, like, I got to get my son to school, and you're going to hear from me again. Okay. And she's like, okay, thank you so much. Whatever. They get out of the car, they walk away. I lock the door, and then I start backing out, and I'm pulling out of the parking lot, and I'm driving down the street, and then it hits me. I got drugged. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing hit me. Just like the mental thought hit me of like, dude, I literally could have got like stabbed in the back of the neck. My throat could have been slit. I'm like thinking of the worst, okay? I'm like, I literally could have been injected with a needle and passed out like by this teenage girl in the back. And I'm like spiraling, okay? So much so that I am now looking in my rearview mirror, headed back to the house. Like, I'm like, is someone following me? Am I being followed? And then I'm like, okay, I don't see any cars. No one's following me. And then I'm like, what if they put a tracker in my car, and now I'm going to be tracked, and then they're going to figure out where I live, and then they're going to show up in the middle of the night, and they're going to take me. I'm in Taken. Where's Liam Neeson when you need him? Is he going to find me? Who's going to find me? That's like literally started to spiral. No one's following me. I pull over before I get to my house. I search the whole car. I'm looking for NFC. What are they called? NFC tags, whatever. Nothing happened. Like nothing clicked on my phone. There was no like, oh, there's a tracker in your vehicle. Like none of that happened. You know, I searched the whole bag. I took everything out of the pockets, like under the seats, all the things. And then I end up going home. Okay. And then I go about my morning. I get my son off to school, and I'm like, they're stuck at this park. I feel like there's something that I can do. I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to get sweatpants for the girl, another hoodie for the mom. I'm going to get underwear. I'm going to get like hand warmers, and some tampons, put it in a bag with maybe like some beef jerky and like a big jug of water. They literally had nothing on them, but like the clothes on their backs and 2 camping chairs. Like that was it. And so I'm like, this is what I can't do. But then because I was so freaked out about the potential sex trafficking ring that was gonna follow me and show up at my house in the middle of the night, I was like, I can't tell her I'm going back because then they'll know. Then they have another opportunity. Okay. And so I'm not sure what sounds crazier. The fact that like I did this or the fact that like I spiraled after the fact that these are all the things that I think were going to happen. Like I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. You're going to have to let me know because I know as women, like we have to be concerned about these things. And so we listen to all the frickin' murder podcasts and all the things, and you hear all the stuff online about the trafficking and the rings and all of this stuff. But like, my man said something that like really hit me. He said two things. Okay. So I'm in Walmart and I'm like just waiting to hear from him because he's like logical, like he like believes like the good in people. See, I've only ever seen the bad in people. So like, I know there are bad people and I have experienced a handful of them. Him, not so much. He's like the logical, he's going to like calm my nerves, release my anxiety, get me to not spiral. And that I know. So I'm like waiting to talk to him. And he says two things. He's like, babe, you're doing too much. Put the grocery cart down. You don't need to bring a backpack to anyone. You are not Captain Save a Hoe. And I'm like, but I already have everything in the cart and I'm about to check out. And I just think I would feel better if I went back and was like, this is what I can do. You know what I mean? He's like, you are not Captain Save a Hoe. And then he said another thing, like when I was spiraling about all of these things and everything I just explained to you, he is like, life is not like a movie, okay? You're going to be fine. I think exactly what it is what happened. You helped someone out. She asked for help. If she needed anything else, she probably would have asked also. She never asked me for money. She never asked me for anything else. She just asked me for a ride. So then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell her that I'm going to go back there. What I did do, which I forgot to mention, is I did call some resources and talk to some people online and got 2 homes that specifically take women and children. They're like safe houses, domestic violence homes. And I got the contacts and the numbers for that. And I texted them to her. I was like, hey, this is Tatum. Here, I talk to a couple people on the phone. These places can hook you up. They usually help with rides and they can give you a place to stay until you can figure out what your next moves are. And she did respond and she said, thank you so much. I will look into this as soon as they open and bless your kind heart. Like, thank you. I couldn't ask for anything more. That was that. And in my mind, I was like, I can't be set up again. Right? So I was like, I got all the stuff in the backpack. I put it all together. And I was like, I'm going to do a drive-by past the park that I dropped them off at. If I see them, I will get out and I will give the backpack and just, maybe even say a prayer, say some encouraging, kind words. And I will get back in the car and I will leave. That was like my thought. If I don't see them, I'll return the stuff. Not a big deal. I want to preface that when I drove back to the park, it had probably been just over an hour, maybe. Yeah, just over an hour. And the park's a pretty open place. It's a big park and there's kind of like, it's almost like in a crescent and like you can drive the whole parking lot and kind of see the whole parking lot. There's multiple ramadas, there's steps, whatever. So I'm kind of doing a slow drive by. I'm like looking, everything's kind of far, but like I got that 20/20, And I'm like, okay, I'm like driving, I'm looking, I'm going across the whole parking lot. They're gone. I don't see 3 women. I see tons of people walking around, people with dogs, whatever. But I don't see 3 women just hanging, chilling out, sitting, whatever. They're literally gone. And I don't know. I can't like wrap my head around if that's worse or like maybe they walked to the temple. There's also tons of other places around. Maybe they walked to like, the gas station. But they were gone. And I was like, okay. I am not Captain Save a Hoe. I can go back to Walmart and return this stuff. and then deal with my crippling anxiety for the next 48 hours. When I tell you, I was like, am I going to be able to sleep tonight? I'm like freaked out. Whatever. Everything was fine. I did a good deed, I guess. I'm low-key still spiraling and feel even like admitting this story makes me feel so insane. I want you guys to know I will not be picking up strangers. Okay, that's one of my goals this year. We're not picking up strangers. I also realized in hindsight, like, she had a phone, could have offered to pay for an Uber, you know? She could have paid for an Uber. She could have reached out to the housing places. But again, like, I just try to look at it from the perspective of like, if this was me, I could not imagine. And sometimes people have truly just been through the fucking ringer and they are just they're living in survival of like, what do I do next? And I don't know. And sometimes people are so beaten down, like they just don't know, you know? And I just have to rely on the hope that, you know, I guess it was a good deed and hopefully me helping out what did do something good. But in the future, I will not be picking up strangers regardless of the fact. I don't even do this ever. Like, I don't even know where this came from. I was reflecting and thinking about it a lot. And I guess, like, I have to say, it truly did pull on my heartstrings because, like, I've been in really horrible situations like that. Like, very similar, you know, and not to get, like, deep and end this on, like a poor me moment, because it's not poor me, this is just my life experience. But like, not only was I in a extremely emotionally and physically abusive relationship with a guy who, like, I had to press charges against, I had to testify on the stand in court against, you know, so like on that part I can relate. And I was thinking about this when I was telling one of my clients, in high school, I remember having to go to women's shelters with my mom because, and this is like, you know, this is definitely like kind of a vulnerable conversation and like, I'm not going to get too deep, but my mom struggled with addiction a lot of my young life. And there was a relationship that she was in it got so bad to the point where we were being stalked. This guy was crazy. And we were so broke that we had nowhere to live, which is it sounds insane and it sounds crazy, and I guess it is. And I haven't really like put a whole lot of thought into it because it's just that time of life was so insane. And I was in high school when that happened. I had to go to these women's shelters, two of them, with my mom to tour them and check them out, like just in case she wasn't able to pay the bills. Now at this point, I did have another parent in my life, and so I was able to go between the two places. But I think looking back at the situation, like if I'm trying to make sense of it all, yeah, it did pull on my heartstrings because I've actually been in both shoes, the mom and the children. And that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. On a high note, you have to let me know. Okay, you have to let me know about what you think. Where did you think the story was going to go? Would you have helped the mom? How would you have helped? Am I crazy for letting them into my vehicle? Like, I genuinely want to know. Please let me know in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube. Go try out this sex position of the week, okay? If you have any questions, concerns, stories, or want to share your experience, you can click on the link in my bio, tatumzoe.com, click on the Girls Stop Talking podcast page, and you can write in always. I would gladly love to share experiences. It's all anonymous. If you have questions, if you need advice, please go write in, okay? There's literally a form on my website. You can write in anything. We can chat. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Tell your best friend to listen to your favorite episode. And please, if you see clips, if you think they're funny, please share them. Whether you reshare them or send them directly to a friend, please do. I'm really putting a lot of heart and soul and effort into this show, you guys. Okay, I know last week was a flop, but I'm excited to catch up. Next week, a story time, a debrief. We'll learn about a new position. And then, we'll go from there. So have a happy fucking Monday. And we'll talk later, girl.
Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking.